Hi, friends. Well, I think it's about time I shared another one of my uh, soul family conversations. So this one is from 1218. I have quite forgotten it. So we go through it together. And I open with, "Hello, my good friends. It's been a while once again. It seems like there is ample space in our togetherness. Yet I feel so very much that you're right close by at all times. I don't feel alone anymore, not even sure that I could if I tried. Hello to you, Theresa-Ann. We are glad to hear from you at any time. We trust that all is well. All is quite well, yes. Things are feeling better somehow, lighter or something I don't quite have words for as yet. I never ask about you. How are things going with you?" Oh, we laugh at that. Things simply cannot go better with us. We've come thoroughly home, so no matter where we go or when, all is always as good as can be. Okay, sounds more than lovely. I've brought some questions along this time. I know they may not be the best way to discover things, but I also know and trust you won't mind. Of course not, dear one, ask away. Okay. My first one concerns the white light that appears in so many stories of the NDE, the near-death experience. Most are fine with entering it, but there are those who say that to enter it is to stay in the Illuminati matrix, to remain trapped. As for myself, I'm determined that I'm going to just follow my heart should it happen that I must lay this body down. I trust heart completely, yet I do want to ask what you have to say about this. You may be surprised by what we say. We would agree that following your heart is the way. The challenge, if there is one, concerns the level or plane on which the departing spirit finds itself. It is quite rare, but on the lower realms there may be an impostor of the true light that appears in an effort to distract the soul from its path home. So, just like it is in 3D, it's not possible to make broad generalities about the higher dimensions either. Those who stick to the present and remain centered within are unlikely to encounter this. If they do, they will make the right choice. Those who bring fear along on their journey, not having dealt with it while still in 3D form, are the ones who may meet this challenge. Well, yes, that is a bit surprising, but I agree. As below, so above, I suppose. Generalities just aren't appropriate, being the mind tools that they are. Thank you. Next, I would like to ask about not having dream recall. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Is there anything you can do to help me restore dream memory? This isn't something we'd care to discuss right now. You're going through so very much, and you and the mankind, the womankind of Earth, in the ending of this major cycle and year, you have enough. And adding dream recall wouldn't benefit you just yet. Fair enough. I have a more important one then. As you no doubt know, I have little or no recall of my early childhood. Until about age 8 or 9, I recall almost nothing. I want that memory restored. Will you help? I'd like to also discover why it's a blank. I have been to counselors and done some inner child work with Bradshaw on homecoming. Aside from one memory, no significant recall resulted. What was that one recalled memory? We know, but we want it to be a part of this record. It was of my father losing his temper with me, practically choking me with my panties. He was intent on violating me sexually, and I wasn't having it, but what can a 4-year-old do against an adult? Yes, this is one of many such memories you'll be recalling when you're ready. Again, we counsel you to be slow with such things. You have much on your table now, yet your tendency is to rush. We hear you, and we are working with you on this. Please do relax. It is amazing how often you counsel relaxation and taking it easy. It is helping, yet it seems we do tend to push to rush things. Okay, I hear you. Once again, thanks. You are welcome, Theresa-Ann. We are more and more glad as you do slow things down a good bit. It is the energy of the left brain that pushes to solve and resolve things. This doesn't come from the heart. Thank you for that too. Now, I have a question about you. Excuse me. Want to take care of a mistake. Now, I have a question about you. Are you what could be called my soul family? I've noticed myself calling you that, but it isn't something you've told me, so I want to be sure. Yes, this appellation works for us. Having been together with you for some billions of Earth years, we are more than close. We are well interknit. K-N-I-T. We are one fabric, one weave, though all distinct. Contrary to what many believe, you don't lose your individuality when you are one. Thank you, my friends. And again, I'm making mistakes on these things. Thank you, my friends. Now, I have one more thing, a personal request for a friend, Mr. X. He desires some guidance or advice to help him make wise choices for the situations in which he finds himself. I told him I would bring this up with you. Will you give me something to share with him? Surely we will. He is wise in his own right, but he doesn't often give himself credit for this, largely due to time spent in mind. Right in front of him now are several opportunities that he would do well to examine further before making his decision. As he's already discovered, one of them turned out to be something that would not pan out, as you say, come to the full fruition he had desired. Will 2013 bring a lightening of his load, of the heaviness of the energy he carries? That depends very much upon him. He could get himself into a tangle that would be awkward if he moves too quickly. The more he makes his moves based on heart pondering, the better it will all work out. For all of humanity, there will be a general lightening of the load of heavy energy in 2013 and on ahead for several years. Getting past 12/21 of 2012 is the key. And when the sword of Damocles doesn't drop, new life can commence. To the many who have bought into belief in ascension on that day, the next day will present quite a challenge. We are with them, however, and when they are open to our guidance, we'll be there. As long as many believe they know what's ahead, they're not listening. They are unable to hear us. After that day, many more will become suddenly open. At that point, we can provide quite a bit more help. What else would you offer, if anything, to my friend? We would tell him to believe in himself and to do just what he is in process of doing, which is to switch his definition of self. All of your earthly tangles come from belief in 3D self as real self, which it is not. You don't realize, though, how much that belief cuts you off from your true self. True self is always there, but unable to speak to one who is not listening. Oh, it speaks, but is simply not heard. Thus, he and simply all of man and womankind would do well to readjust, to radically alter their self-definition. You are not these flesh bodies, nor even these minds. You transcend all of this, and once you find and make contact with your true self, everything will start to fall into place. This has been one of the main methods of manipulation, bringing your self-definition down to 3D. The energies arriving on the planet in the solar system, coming on and after 1221, will be able to greatly buoy those up who lighten and raise their self-definition into the realms of spirit. Many and many will awaken in 2013 simply due to these things. Those who are most open will awaken first. Later, those who follow will ride on the coattails of these, following their example. Things truly are changing for humanity, just not in the way that was expected. Learn not to hold expectations. This is best, for they just get in the way, slowing your progress down. You get into too much of a hurry, thinking you know what is ahead. Divest yourself of such nonsense. Even we don't know what is ahead for you in many ways. You are breaking new barriers every day. What sort of barriers are we breaking down? It was thought by many that Armageddon must arise. So many have been trained to believe in this, and for centuries it has been expected. That creates a powerful wave. Yet, with the many who are awakening and throwing off the old beliefs has come an even greater wave. One of many that we foresee in the years just ahead. You will not be held back, as was that plan. You will simply refuse. Many by doing the non-comply dance you spoke of in your last journal. There is no telling what man and womankind shall become. Certain DNA upgrades are being put into place right now. More will come. Yet, what with man being held down for so very long artificially, much about you hasn't been known because it wasn't allowed to surface before. Now it will. Now it is. And there are simply no limits at all. Oh, what an itchy nose. Ah! We are all quite amazed. Our hearts are delighted by what we see, by what you too shall see, and soon. Do you see our inner vision returning globally? Simply by rising up in vibration as you and the earth have been, much of your vision will naturally seem to return. That won't necessarily be the case, though, as much will be due to simply abiding in the higher frequency and seeing things native to that. For most, your vision will not return in a flash. It will We take it you mean inner or so-called third eye vision. If this came back too quickly, it could be startling. It could generate fear. So it seems to me that it will also help that we will be abiding in higher frequencies, perhaps even higher dimensions when this vision is returned. I know many would become occupants of mental institutions if they got their full sight back right away while still here in 3D. We all have many, many attachments, parasites, and impurities abiding in our auras and attached to our thoughts. Yes, this is correct. If you had been allowed to retain your inner vision, it is likely that things would not have fallen so low, since you would be able to see and deal with things as they attached, or tried to do so. You would be aware of the entities as they tried to manipulate you. That did not happen. Yet, to return the inner sight now completely would not serve. If they think they're bothered by thoughts of ETs, just imagine what would happen to see their own aura in the mirror, to see its inhabitants. Yes, I agree. As we do the spiritual work, or even as we just determine to simply live from integrity now, much of that darkness is being cleared away. Even as diets are changing, that helps. Many a parasite, whether intestinal or auric, in the aura or energy field, is associated with a particular substance. Sugar and alcohol have many, but they are not alone. Many are also dieting in the mind, cleaning up what they once allowed as their regular, everyday mental fare. Your journal, Mind is Unkind, was a good illustration of that. It is quite true that self-respect, much less self-love, would clear up a serious portion of attachments. Many entities live on the mental or energetic food of abuse. Taking in impure and unnatural substances is also a form of abuse. Wow, I really begin to see or get a vision of how humanity is being helped in this shift, helped in making these many ongoing changes. I see, too, the big difference it makes overall as each one cleans up his or her own act. It lightens the overall burden on that one and on the rest. I can see, as it were, armies of light beings all, just out of our range of physical sight, acting as the cleanup crew. How great is that? Yes, this is so. Many begin to notice an overall lifting of some of the heaviness already, and it is taking place. What will happen, however, is that once 12/21 is passed and you are into early 2013, so much will have been lifted by and from the awakening ones that a critical threshold will be reached. There will come a time when even the sleeple themselves will notice that something is up due to the overall lightening. You're all slogging through the worst of it now. Actually, we could say the very worst of it all is behind you. There will likely be yet some upsets, as the powers that were do all in their power to retain that power, but they're designed to fail. There is simply no way that humanity will sit still for the excuses they're given for the terrible things the dark ones bring about. So many of you are seeing through them already and speaking out. Due to the presence of the internet, you're having an effect that can't be contained. Perhaps the biggest effect, the biggest lifting, will be felt once the powers that were actually give up. We know you think at this point that that would never happen, that they will go down fighting to the last. And some of them will, but not so many. Others, in the overall lightening all around, will be enabled to have their own awakening to the unreality they've been involved in for so long. And rather than fight, they'll just quit. They'll just walk away. This new cycle, season, and age humanity is entering will support only integrity and ethics. It will leave everything else to hang out to dry, or die, as it were. Secrecy is already no more supported. This is clear, and why so many don't yet see it is due to their belief systems. The power of beliefs and of changing belief systems will be one of the early revelations of the new Aquarian age. Science will enter into the ability to perceive into the higher energies once they acknowledge their existence. So it will be seen eventually how beliefs create the structure of what later appears as 3D reality. This won't happen right away, but it will be impossible to stop once people begin to see into the workings of their own beliefs. Thank you so much, my friends, for this lovely peek into the near future of humanity. We are truly riding an upward spiral of light now and building momentum. It's been a long shift, going back at least to harmonic convergence, 1987, but I really believe the Uranus-Pluto conjunction of the mid-60s is more likely the opening visible phase. No doubt the energetic start was long before. Yes, things don't appear in the physical domain until after they've been conceived and brought down into form from the etheric realm. As heavy and intense as mankind's entrapment had become, it took quite some while for the new energy to penetrate their consciousness. This was why the Uranus-Pluto conjunction and its great power were needed to break through the overall haze. While there may be more things I'd like to ask, the body has grown weary again, so I'll bring this to a close. Is there anything else you'd like to say first? No, we are content with what has come forth here. It is enough. Blessings to you, Theresa-Ann, and to your wonderful work. We are delighted to participate with you in this. Deep gratitude flows, my ancient friends. We are well suited to both the work and each other. May one and all come into knowledge and awareness of their own soul families all around the world. May the work of our spiritual guides also come to the fore, come into notice for each willing one. Finally, may the orbs and all light beings of every shape and form come to be known as each one is ready for that. And may all be given assistance to open up if this is their desire. My dearest desire at this point is that each one should come into awareness of who and what they truly are. May we all redefine the self we believe self to be, raising it up above 3D. Help us, one and all, as much as you can, dear friends. Thank you for the request, Theresa-Ann. We love to receive a specific request and are most happy to do all you ask. Good night then, and namaste. And I closed with namaste, my friends. I am grateful for my being and for yours. Now, again, friends, I don't share these as being something relevant only to me. What point would that be? We're all one. I'm just another you, and you're another aspect of who I am. And so even the advice for my friend, I thought about cutting it out, but it's relevant. It's relevant. And so I hope you're having great fun. In between the challenges and the pain, and even in the midst of them, I'm having a great time. It's really possible to enjoy no matter what. And I think it has to do with who and what we really are. And we've just been under the delusion that we're physical and that that's all that we are. Good day.